Hello and welcome for the second race of the Utica Home Track Series, the qualifier event here at the Bethesda Ring in Bethesda, Maryland. This is our first road course of the year and is quite the road course at 13 miles in length. We have 3 qualifier events today, and the first of them will include these drivers: Alex DeMarco, Jake Williams, Brandon Bain, Adam Kendricks, Cecil Brooks, Ronnie DiPetrio, Brian Judge, Henry Nova, Emily Ishter, Tina Anderson III, Saya Asumi, car number 11, Megan Atkins, Sean Angel, Harrison Langford, Colin Bartell, Dom Capps, Ian Dutta, Arishak, Michael Downing, Eric and Rage. That's the first 20 of them. There are 30 that are going to be in each segment, and the remaining of those drivers are Michael Aurelio, Eric Bush, Megan Curley, Seth Cole, Joe Samaniego, Cameron Pemberton, Michelle Sadino, John Lasco, Daniel Voiles, and William Duncan. And the first of those cars is coming onto the racetrack. It's car number 02 of Cecil Brooks, driving the starter machine for Monster Madness Racing. Now, both of the Monster Madness cars were in this first qualifying session, so they're both going to be trying to make it in. Now, Cecil Brooks actually qualified for the Bristol event. He was one of the faster cars in the segment. In fact, I think he might have been the fastest car in qualifier race number 2. However, the race was cut short after getting toppled over very early on in the event. So, a 40th place finish for him. He is definitely not close to the top 10 locked-in spot, but he has a chance to make it in this time, as he's going to try and qualify for this event. If he makes it in and finishes well, he might have a chance. Cecil Brooks, I'm not sure of his racing background. I'm assuming he's a circuit driver, so this is a little foreign to him, but Cecil Brooks has Alex DeMarco as a mentor, and he knows the ropes on these kind of tracks. He knows how to teach them. We take a look a little further back at Megan Curley, car number 46. Now, this car is the Rainbow Zen machine, and as keeping with tradition, it is one of the ugliest looking cars I've ever seen. I mean, if we can get a good angle of this vehicle from the cameras, as you see that car going off track, you can see that it is completely rainbow colored. There seems to be the words "Kill Me" written in Comic Sans on the side. So, definitely a gaudy race car. But Megan Curley, that's been the staple with that team, and they're continuing it on the road courses this year. She's currently running closer to the front of the pack as William Duncan, car number 83. The defending Utica Home Track Series champion, one of the earlier cars to get on track as he runs behind Brian Judge. Now, William Duncan, the defending champion, is good on these road courses. Last year he got his only Utica Home Track Series victory at Watkins Glen and had a couple other strong finishes on the road courses. Though he said before entering the Utica Home Track Series he was more of a super speedway driver. That seems to be a title that has kind of evolved for him. So now he's more of an all-around driver, and that's great for a championship competitor. So close to the top 10, but just couldn't make it. So he's going to have to try and qualify his way in. He was in a similar spot last year at the Megville Bull Run, only last year he was a little further down in points, about 36th. We take a look at car number 33. This is not Cassandra Renzi. This is Eric Enrage, the team owner of Enrage Performance Group. Now, Eric Enrage has decided to step into the car for this one event as the camera focuses on the 33 machine. So I'm not sure what the racing background of Eric Enrage is, but he wanted to get in that car, and it's his car, so it's his decision. So he's on track right now, trying to put down some fast lap times. Now, Cassandra Renzi is going to be the primary driver for this machine. Andrea Erickson and Kenny Bale are slated to be the other drivers for that machine for select events throughout the year. But it's going to be Cassandra Renzi. I believe this is the only event that Eric Enrage is attempting, so it's going to be a one-and-done deal for him. Let's see how he can do. There's John Lasco making his first attempt in a Utica Home Track Series car. The French road racer has really turned some heads in the Rallycross series with some great performances in that number 7. In fact, the Rallycross team is so impressive that Gastech Engineering Incorporated decided not to go with most of the drivers they put in the vehicle, their third car last year, but decided to go with the Rallycross team. So Ray Davis and John Lasco trying to split the ride. Ray Davis was unsuccessful last week. John Lasco trying to be the one to make the race this time. If not, it's going to go back to Ray Davis at Rockingham. Michael Aurelio, car number 34. He's back. He missed the Bristol event, and last year was an absolutely dreadful season for car number 34. Well, at the time, car number 93. But Michael Aurelio, on familiar turf, he's great at these road courses. He has his only win at Monza, and has had several great performances, like his run at Mosport and his debut start was truly inspiring. But Michael Aurelio definitely trying to get something out of this team as well. We've seen some smoke coming through the Laguna Seca model turn, which is much more difficult. Let's see what happened there as we take a look at a replay. Looks like Colin Bartel was the victim. He gets up into the Seca turn and just overdrives it, ends up into the wall. But fortunately, that could have been much, much worse. So he gets away with a little bit of damage. That's definitely going to slow down his time, as Colin Bartel not having a good start to the 2014 season. Saya Asumi, car number 11, running for the Enraged team. Now, the third car on the team, Makoto Iguchi, is not in this segment. She'd be coming up at a later time. But Saya Asumi, car number 11, attempted last week, was unable to make it. Now, the Enraged team seems like a pretty strong team. They had 2 cars in the LCQ, so they're almost there. They have their program almost there. They have a good chance of making these events. They just need to really put down the pedal and knock down those lap times. Now, she's currently running close to John Lascaux. I'm not sure if she's trying to catch up to him so she can get some drafting help. Maybe bump up that time a bit. But Asumi having a solid effort at the moment. Cecil Brooks coming toward the end of the racetrack. Now, I want to mention that this session has actually been bumped up from the 10 minutes for most tracks to 15, given the length of this track. And they predict that everyone would be able to get at least 2 full laps in. So this is going to be lap number 1. As Cecil Brooks comes down to the line, he's going to be the fastest car when he crosses the line, but other drivers do have a shot at beating it. As we take a look at our stagnant camera here. We love this camera angle at this track. You see the rest of the cars coming down the racetrack. Now, 15-minute sessions. 2 laps is the minimum. Some say that the leaders could get a 3rd lap in, but we'll have to see about that. So every lap counts on this circuit. You see a couple cars diving down pit road. Saya Asumi, Harrison Langford. I think they were not happy with their lap time, so they're going to bring it in, make some adjustments, see if they can improve it. Sean Angel, car number 14, the Canadian, is currently first on the board. Now, Sean Angel is a road course ace. He came in late in the 2013 Utica Home Track Series and had a stunning performance at Monza. Unfortunately, was unable to qualify for the Österreichring. We could have seen what he did there. But definitely back this year. Sean Angel had a great qualifying effort at Bristol, but it just went awry. We had a wreck in the Laguna Seca turn as Ian Dutta and Megan Curley made contact. We missed this with all the chaos of cars crossing the start-finish line. So there was that event. As car number 29, Eris Schock, comes across the line. She currently places 2nd. So a great lap time for Eris Schock in car number 29. Now, she's no stranger to the road courses. JFI has a great road course program, and that's where they've been most successful, especially at tracks like Rouen Les Certs, where they've dominated. They're not going there this year, but Eris Schock definitely bringing that drive. Ryan DiPetrio, car number 2, is currently running 16th on the board, which is close to the top 15 getting into the LCQ, but we're mentioning him for a different reason. Ryan DiPetrio, if you noticed at the beginning, we had a new logo. That was an updated logo that was made by this driver right here, Ryan DiPetrio, kind of as a gift for the Utica Home Track Series. So we just want to extend a thank you to Ryan DiPetrio. Definitely a generous gift, and it's a nice looking logo. So not only a great race car driver, but a great graphic designer. So best of luck to Ryan DiPetrio as he continues on his way, trying to improve that lap time and get the Fat Dog Racing team into the show. We take a look now at Daniel Voiles, car number 81. He currently sits 4th on the board. Now, Daniel Voiles was the winner at the Royal Rumble, but Bristol, that car was almost non-existent. He almost didn't even put down a lap time. That car was struggling so much. But the car seems to be better today, and he's definitely in position to make the show. Now, Daniel Voiles' reward for winning the Royal Rumble was 10 bonus points. And if he had made Bristol, he would have really capitalized on it, especially if he had a top 10 effort, as that would have really catapulted him ahead of points. However, he was unable to make the show. He's going to have to try it again this time, see if he can get those 10 points to good use. So he continues on track. Let's take a look at another driver, Brandon Bain, car number 01. He's currently listed as 3rd on the board. Now, Brandon Bain has not been a driver we've often considered on track. He's been kind of there. Not to discredit the driver in any way, he's definitely a good race car driver, but he hasn't been making those strides to really push himself out from the rest. But this year has been kind of different. He's been somewhat in the limelight this year, especially with that new team merger and his efforts at the Royal Rumble, despite them not going as planned. But Brandon Bain having a great run today. He has a good shot of making the show. Let's take a look at some drivers that are just on the edge of making the events now. Emily Ishter, car number 8, is currently 15th on the board. She's just barely into the LCQ. And just so you know, 10 drivers make it from each qualifier. 5 cars, 11th through 15th, will make it to the LCQ. So Emily Ishter, trying to make it in, she's on the Union Jack Racing Team, which is an offshoot of the former RGE Motorsports. Now, Emily Ishter was so close to making the race at Bristol, but sadly, things went astray. She finished 2nd in the LCQ to Henry Nova. She does not want a repeat of that. She has that drive to make it in this week. Let's take a look at the driver who currently sits 10th on the board, Dom Capps. Now, he's just barely into the show, and he's going to have to try and qualify for this one. Now, he hasn't missed a race since his debut at Bristol. So, Dom Capps trying to keep that streak alive. However, there is a bit of a Rookie of the Year curse. Now, Michael Aurelio was the Rookie of the Year in 2012, and he had a terrible 2013. Ian Perfetti was the Rookie of the Year spiritually in 2011, and he didn't even return for 2013. So, definitely, bad luck streak for Rookie of the Year contenders. Dom Capps trying to break it today with a fast run on track. Let's take a look at Michael Downing, car number 30. Now, he currently sits 12th on the board, which isn't the best, but it's in the LCQ, and compared to the other drivers, he's in the top half. Now, Michael Downing considered one of the lower drivers on the track. I mean, not to discredit him at all, just that the team is not considered one of the top main focus teams. He's running for the Drew Austin team, but Michael Downing, late entry into the Utica Home Track Series. Unexpected driver, but definitely putting down some strong times today in that number 30 machine. So, excellent effort for the Mazda car number 30. We take a look at the line. Cecil Brooks crosses the line to take the top time back, but he can definitely be beaten. Now, these times will be much quicker than the first lap, as the first lap was from pit road. This one is with a run-up on the racetrack. As you see the cars crossing the line, there comes Daniel Voiles, car number 81. You'll see that there's a huge gap between Voiles and the rest of the competitors. Currently, Brian Judge, car number 3, is on top of the charts. Now, Brian Judge was the sole Fat Dog Racing machine to miss the Bristol event, which he wasn't too happy about, but he was happy that his teammates got in. They made an effort, but both of them wrecked out early. So, Fat Dog Racing has been a team that's been really popping up in the preseason. They've definitely made their presence known. Now they're trying to deliver, as Brian Judge, excellent lap time in that car number 3. He's going to knock Sean Angel off the top of the board. William Duncan following close behind. He's a little further down on the list. Sean Angel gets bumped back a bit. As more cars continue to cross the line, Brian Judge works his way around the track, as William Duncan definitely on his tail trying to get some form of draft, or at least to pass him. I think he feels he's a little faster than the 3 machine. Joseph Maniego, car number 53, currently sits 3rd on the board. Now, he is a single car effort and a driver that has not had much experience in any other series. So, Joseph Maniego definitely surprising the crowd here today on the number 53 Harry Gant-inspired machine. Now, the 53 machine failed to qualify for the Bristol event. He wasn't really close to the LCQ, but maybe the road courses are his specialty, as a great effort of 3rd fastest on the racetrack. let's take a look at the second fastest car on the racetrack, Henry Nova, car number 07. Now, Henry Nova's been pretty good in these qualifier events. He won the LCQ in the Bristol race and worked his way into the show and had a pretty good run until a mechanical issue sent him out of the event. Right now, second fastest on the board, Henry Nova, definitely proving that he's a great all-around race car driver as he pilots that Gary's Mod machine. Let's take a look at car number 33 of Eric and Rage. He currently sits 10th on the board. Now, for a team owner who has not stepped into the race car, to my knowledge, I mean, he must have some racing background, but to my knowledge, he hasn't stepped into one of these type of vehicles. Getting 10th on the board with these drivers, especially some that have had many years of experience, Eric and Rage is definitely doing a great job in that number 33 machine. And who knows, maybe they'll even consider him for more events, or in his case, he might consider himself. But Eric and Rage, a great run on track at the moment, sitting just inside the top 10, trying to make the show. Megan Atkins, car number 12, is currently 15th on track. Now, Megan Atkins has been one of the prime Rookie of the Year targets. She had an exceptional run in the Royal Rumble, showing excellent durability. We have a wreck. Brian Judge, car number 3, and he goes over. That's the fastest on track, and he goes tumbling. He made contact with the wall, spun on track, and Sean Angel gets into him. Let's take a look at another replay, see what happened. William Duncan tried making the pass. Brian Judge just overturns the corner, and bam! Hard contact from Sean Angel as car number 3 goes barrel rolling. But he still tries and limps out on the racetrack. They're going to take Sean Angel's car to the garage area. They're going to try and unload a backup, but it might be too late. So the fastest car in the segment is off track, and everyone else is going to try and scramble to beat him, including this driver, Alex DeMarco, who currently sits 7th on the board. Now, this track is Alex DeMarco's bread and butter. Not only is it a road course, but this road course is made up of famous turns and straightaways from various other road courses and super speedways. So Alex DeMarco is in heaven. He's racing on a track made up of all the other circuits that he is great on. So Alex DeMarco, car number 00, he's kind of in road course heaven, it would seem. But excellent effort by the DeMarco machine, who made his debut early in the 2013 season, had a great run in race number 3 at Zandvoort. Jake Williams, car number 0, currently sits 4th fastest on the board. Another big shocker, considering this is also a single car effort. And though we know Jake Williams is a great driver from his brief stint in the Rallycross series, we were uncertain of his stock car racing abilities, and he's showing them off right now on that number 0 machine. It sometimes shows that you don't need a full 3-car team to have a successful run on track. Jake Williams has focused all of his efforts into the 0 machine, and it's currently running superbly, as he's going to try and make his first ever Utica Home Track Series start. We move onward to car number 3 as, whoa! Car number 3, we're getting a report he's still on track here. He's putting down some fluid perhaps, and I think he's been getting in the way of other drivers. Other drivers have been complaining. So Brian Judge, definitely a moving obstacle on the racetrack, as Arishak, not happy over her radio, wanting to add Brian Judge to the murder list. And there's Jake Williams. He's going to have to try and scramble to get around. This could be bad because this could be slowing down lap times, and a lot of drivers not happy with Brian Judge at the moment, the fastest car on track, who seems to be holding up other drivers. He gets the message and pulls down to the apron, but the damage has definitely been done to certain drivers. I think he was trying to slow up some fast ones perhaps, but we do not know, as we have some cars crossing the line. There was Daniel Voiles, and just to show you this big gap between Voiles and the next competitor, we'll see we have another driver coming over the horizon, trying to see who that is. It's pretty far away. I believe that's Ronnie DiPetrio, car number 2, as we see some other drivers crossing the line. There's Eric Bush, car number 45. There's Ian Dutta, car number 27, as he works his way to the line. Now, this was their 3rd lap. So, time is running out on the clock for drivers trying to get their fast lap in. Car number 83 of William Duncan currently sits 3rd on the board. Now, he was being crippled by Brian Judge, who he knew he was faster than, but just couldn't get around him. So Brian Judge did get the fastest time, but William Duncan did definitely catch up. Car number 29, Jacques, 6th on the board. So despite the moving roadblock of Brian Judge, she is going to improve on her time. She had a great early section. And car number 29 looks like she's going to make the show, unless we have a huge wave of drivers working in with huge speed. One of them is the 34 car, Michael Aurelio. He's got great speed. What's he going to get? He's the fastest on the charts. Michael Aurelio, car number 34. He was one of the last cars to get on track, and he was one of the slowest tracking for the first couple of laps. But Michael Aurelio definitely put his all into his final lap. He is the fastest on track. I think we might see Michael Aurelio making a return. After a disappointing 2013, he's going to be the fastest car in the session. And with only one driver that's close to the line, it looks like he's not going to make it. It's Harrison Langford, who was not running too well. He's currently 23rd on the board. The session is going to end as the timer goes out now. So, sadly, Langford unable to make it. Let's see who's in the show. Michael Aurelio, Brian Judge, Henry Nova, William Duncan, Jake Williams, Joe Samaniego, Saya Asumi, Jacques, Alex DeMarco, Brandon Bain. These 10 going to make the show. Some familiar faces, some drivers making their debut start. These drivers go to the LCQ. Sean Angel, the Canadian. John Lescaut, the French driver. Eric Enrage, the team owner. Megan Curley in the 46. And the 12 of Megan Atkins. Let's see who's in qualifier number 2. The drivers in heat number 2 are Joshua Michaels, Skylar Dixon, Karen Minazuki, Matt Evans, Courtney Miller, Jordan Culp, Julian Kenneblaze Jr., Dion Scott, Nick Pericles, Leah Walker, Thomas Beatty, Alex May, Alan Tanker, Anthony McCrory, Joseph Anesto, Dominic Cousins, Chloe Pemberton, Drew Austin, Cole Daly, Kyle Austin, Brock McMahon, Makoto Iguchi, Connor Atwood, Brendan Patterson, Matt Duell, Nikki Allen, Robert Piette, Sona Kors, Debbie Myers, and Alex Allen. And the first car on track is car number 61 of Anthony McCrory. Now, Anthony McCrory, driving the Kyotech Audi, is an endurance racer, and he specializes on these kind of tracks, long road courses. So McCrory definitely right at home. It's just a matter of making the show. Now, the last effort at Bristol was not a very good one, as he failed to qualify, and before that the Royal Rumble ended disastrously. But car number 61 will trudge on and attempt to make the race today as the first car out on track. Makoto Iguchi, car number 77, the Japanese driver. Her teammate Saya Asumi has made the race, and her other teammate and team owner, Eric Enrage, is currently in line for the LCQ, so car number 77 hoping to qualify for one of the two, as this machine came so close last race at Bristol. Made it to the LCQ, gave it her best effort, but unfortunately was able to make the show. Definitely a rookie to watch out for based on her performance at Myrtle Beach last year. It's just a matter of making the show. Joseph Anesto, car number 62, and a new car today in the Ucos.com machine. Now, as the only Alfa Romeo, he's actually going to be joined by a teammate car. Zach Sasser has been added to the lineup in car number 59. He's slated to start in the next event. So, Joseph Anesto, definitely room for expansion, as he's also sponsoring another car on track, but we'll get to that next heat. Currently, Anesto on track and tracking relatively decent. Gold Alley, car number 69, was the fastest car in his session at Bristol, but that was a short track. Now he's on a completely different type of circuit, as he has a lot of road race aces like Robert Piette, who's running right behind him to compete with. Now, Cole Daly, he wished the run at Bristol could have been a little longer, but Cole Daly is confident in his abilities to run today and get himself a good finish in car number 69 as he works his way around this very, very lengthy race course. Now, let's take a look at car number 97, Debbie Myers. Now, the number 97 last race was able to make the show, the only one of the Piette Motorsports cars. At this track, they seem to be more favored, as all of them are definitely road race aces, and the team definitely trains on road courses, as Zandvoort is the local track for the team. Zandvoort will be raced at this year, and this circuit will definitely have turns just as challenging as the Zandvoort track, along with a couple other ones, like this one, which is actually reminiscent of Laguna Seca, only uphill, as Debbie Myers almost gets into the wall, but keeps it on track. Matt Evans, car number 13, a new paint scheme for this week. ST Suspensions is going to be on the car for all of the road courses this year. Both of the Evans Engineering Incorporated machines, they run separate schemes for the road courses, similar to last year in the case of car number 4, which ran Hankook and Bethesda. It's a shame they didn't have Bethesda on board for this year, as we are at the track called the Bethesdaring in Bethesda, Maryland. So Matt Evans, definitely an accomplished road racer. He's definitely worked his way into road racing notability. He might have an easy time. Next up on track is Julian Kenneblez Jr. The young Mexican driver is quite the road race ace. He got his only career win at the Cleveland circuit, which is a road course. So Julian Kenneblez Jr. tends to do well here along with most of the JFI team. However, that team did not do good last week at Bristol, as Julian Kenneblez Jr. was one of the lowest placing drivers on track. Jeffrey Finguy was about mid-pack, and Eric Schock was just inside the top 20. But hoping for better things today at the Bethesdaring for Julian Kenneblez Jr. Taking a look at car number 74, a driver that's back in the sport, Brock McMahon. Now, Brock McMahon, if you remember him from last year, drove the 44 machine for Tanker Motorsports and almost won that team a championship. Unfortunately, in the final race, he was beaten out by William Duncan, so unable to win the championship last year. He is back this year in a new car with a new paint scheme, running for the same team of Tanker Racing. Now, you're probably wondering why he didn't attempt the Bristol event despite being locked in. It's because they didn't have the ride set up for him yet. So, he is making his attempt this time, hoping to work his way into the top 10 in the standings, which, as you know, is what gets you in. And you see he's catching up to the drivers in front of him, the New York Islanders Jaguar, having a decent run out there today as he tries to work his way into the show. There's Dominic Cousins, car number 63. He's been tracking pretty fast. Now, Dominic Cousins, the Canadian driver, made the attempt last race, was unable to make it in, along with his two teammates of Kyle Corbett and Harrison Langford. But Dominic Cousins, a road race ace, the Canadian, is definitely giving it his all, trying to make the show today. Now, the Hyundai Yum team was definitely one that people noted. They were one of the first teams to get their silly season plan set up for this year. And that 63 car is going to be changing hands quite a few times throughout the year. We'll just have to see who's going to be in the car for each event, as I don't think we have the official thing yet. As he goes around the track, we head to the line, and we track these drivers as they cross it. There's Anthony McCurry. He was the first car out on track, but no drafting partner. Debbie Myers coming to pit road. So either they're not confident with the time, or there's something wrong with the number 97 machine. What a shame for the Piet Motorsports machine. There comes, I believe that's Joshua Michaels. I can tell by the two-tone number 04 machine. As the car is continuing down the front stretch, I believe that's Makoto Iguchi. And more heading down. We'll see if any of them head down pit road. Looks like none this time, as we see Julian Kenneblez Jr. Along with the rest of the pack, there's Brendan Patterson and Dominic Cousins, car number 63. Currently, Makoto Iguchi, car number 77, is the fastest on track. Makoto Iguchi, noted for road racing, also just as an overall all-around driver. But Makoto Iguchi, definitely a driver to watch out for this year as she takes the top spot. Wait a second, it's been beat by Matt Dool, car number 88. Now, Matt Dool is by no means considered a road racer, but quite the effort by car number 88. He's doing exceptional in the 88 machine. Now, Matt Dool did not have a good outing at Bristol, wrecked out pretty early, but he's currently running second on the, first on the charts. So Matt Dool definitely trying his all to claw his way back up the standings. Now let's take a look at car number 95. He is currently in 10th. That's Robert Piet, the Dutch driver. Now, all of the Piet Motorsports cars are actually in qualifier number 2, which we're running at the moment. So it's basically all or nothing for the Piet Motorsport team. As Robert Piet, an experienced driver, definitely a great driver. Currently sitting in 10th place right behind Cole Daly, car number 69 on track. We'll have to see how the other cars do, as Debbie Myers went to pit road, and I'm not sure if Sonacor's crossed the line just yet. We're taking a look now at Nikki Allen, just around the driver's tower, just barely locked in. She is 15th and currently in line for the LCQ. Now, Nikki Allen had a lot of trouble in her Utica Home Track Series career. She's trying to reboot it by driving this number 90 machine. Made it to the LCQ last time, but just wasn't able to make the race. I don't think any of the Allen Racing family machines made the Bristol event. But always another chance this time, as she's currently in LCQ position. So Nikki Allen trying her best as she goes to the Nürburgring corner. There's Sonacors, and she is currently listed as being second fastest on the track. So any worries by Robert Piet that his drivers were not doing well? Sonacors second overall, but this means that Robert Piet gets knocked back to 11th. So that will currently put him out of the race, but into the LCQ. Sonacors is noted especially for her modified racing in the NASCAR Wheel and Modified series. Had several high-profile victories, and she's hoping to transfer that over to the Utica Home Track Series. A big shocker for third place on the board. Drew Austin, car number 67. Now, normally we would not consider Drew Austin a big shocker in other series, since he is a 4-time in a row pole sitter and race winner in the Phillips Nationwide series, as things get squirrely in the Seika turn. But Drew Austin running for a somewhat underfunded team, so definitely not expecting that car to run so well. Drew Austin having a great outing. Karen Minazuki currently sits in 4th position on track. Now, Karen Minazuki was not the scheduled driver for this 09 machine. Ryan Raso was, but in the Royal Rumble, Ryan Raso getting injured in a rather horrible-looking crash. He's currently slated to be out for the entire season. We're hoping a speedy recovery for him. As the sister of Nathan Minazuki, Karen, goes behind the wheel. Now, she owns the vehicle, so she knows how it works. She's just trying to get that car into the race, and is currently doing a successful effort. Car number 43, Nick Pericles, is 5th. So, the Oriole Racing machine having a great outing. Skylar Dixon is also in this round, but is falling a little behind. The Oriole Racing cars struggled going into Bristol, but Skylar Dixon had a decent run until a mechanical issue put him out of the race. So Nick Pericles definitely putting a good effort as the leader of the Oriole Racing team. He might be able to make his first start of the season. Speaking of the Oriole Racing machines, we take a look at Skylar Dixon. He's currently sitting in 6th position. So excellent effort by him, as he attempts to make 2 races in a row. Now, Skylar Dixon was not expected to be somewhat of a racing prodigy. Oriole Racing definitely saw something in him and put him in the car, and they've been yielding pretty good results so far as we finish off our second lap as Anthony McCrory works his way toward the line. Now, he's actually been running pretty slow on track despite being the first car on the racetrack. He just has that huge gap in between him and the rest of the field. So he crosses the line. There comes Joshua Michaels. Let's see if he can... Yep, he's going to stay on track and finish out the lap, because we know some cars will pit to maybe make adjustments for that final lap. There comes Makoto Iguchi, who might snag the top spot if her time is consistent. And here comes the rest of the pack. There's Julian Kenneblez Jr., car number 26. Not much passing going on. These cars are pretty spread out. I believe that would be Brendan Patterson and Dominic Cousins. As we check to see who's the fastest on the circuit. Why, it's Julian Kenneblez Jr., car number 26. So Julian Kenneblez Jr. definitely putting out that great lap time as he looks to make the show. It looks pretty good for him as time is running out in the session. As Julian Kenneblez Jr. continues as our race leader, Joshua Michaels, car number 04, is currently 3rd on the board. Now, Joshua Michaels made his debut in the Utica Home Track Series at Rowan Lace Asserts, which it didn't go flawless. He did wreck and go out of the race, but Joshua Michaels showing off some of his road racing capabilities, maybe some that he learned from Ray Takeda, who has 2 victories, one of which on the road course. Now Joshua Michaels continuing around track. A great showing by the 04 machine. This might just get him into the show for the first time of the year, which is much better than his effort from last year. Connor Atwood, car number 84, is tracking pretty well as he heads toward the finish line. Same for Dion Scott, as they're both drafting with each other. Now, it seems that the drivers that are running in a pack tend to get the faster times, and that's kind of straightforward, as there's a lot of straightaways on this road course, and the drafting boost can really help you. They cross the line 5th and 6th for Scott and Atwood, respectively. So great effort by the 2 Australian drivers going around track. Now Connor Atwood has a little more experience in the Utica Home Track Series. He's been racing since 2012. But Dion Scott does have that several race stint that he ran last year, which included that great effort at Silverstone, which definitely amazed some people. As they continue around the course, we take a look back at Nikki Allen, car number 90. She currently sits 10th on the board, so she's been improving this session, and she's currently in line to make the race. Now Allen, we've mentioned, not noted for road racing abilities, but I believe she did make Ruin Laces Search last year, or Osterreicher, one of those road courses, and was able to get a decent showing. Car number 17 of Courtney Miller currently sits in the 15th place position. Now, Courtney Miller, one of the Dollarton Falcon drivers. This is the one that really hasn't been talked about as much, since she was the only one that failed to qualify for the Bristol event, and she came in late during the Royal Rumble and really didn't get to make too much of an impact, despite technically getting a good finish. So there's still a lot to see from this driver, as Courtney Miller tries to hold on to that coveted 15th place position, see if she can make it to the LCQ, and then from there transfer over into the race. Karen Minazuki, car number 09, very consistent, 3rd place on the board. Just so you know, Matt Duell, who was 1st fastest, did not capitalize on his time. He's currently 2nd fastest. But Karen Minazuki, for a replacement driver who wasn't even slated to drive this year, just to be the team overseer, definitely a great effort. Jordan Culp, car number 25, currently sitting in 13th position. Now, Jordan Culp for the Culp Miller team. 13th is not what most drivers would want, but considering that Culp and Miller are completely new to this series, it's a great achievement for them, as they're going to try and make it to the LCQ. Now, Greg Miller hasn't gone up yet. He's going up in the next event, so Miller still has a chance to make it, but at the current moment, unless Culp doesn't improve, he will be in the LCQ. Anthony McCurry, car number 61, 19th on the board. Anthony McCurry, despite being a road racing and endurance driver, it's not really happening today. I think he went out too early. Now, that's kind of difficult when you don't have a teammate. Car number 61 is a single car effort. He has no one to draft with him, and most of the Audi cars have teamed up with other drivers and went down track, so McCurry was just hoping that the clean air would help car number 61, but looks like it's not doing it too well, as he is 19th on the board overall. He's trying to work his way to the line. We're almost to the end of lap 3, which also means we're also almost to the end of the segment. As coming down that long straightaway, this is basically the last chance effort for the 61 car. Can McCurry do it? Coming to the line, he's actually going to go down pit road. Looks like he was not confident in the speed of that car. He was tracking a little slower than he would prefer. So McCurry is going to bring it into the pits. He's not going to qualify for this event. Joshua Michaels, car number 04, staying it out on track, trying to improve on that lap time, and no, not faster. There goes Makoto Iguchi. She's been in the top 10 pretty consistently, and she's still there. There is Julian Kenneblez, car number 26, coming to the line, and he's still top of the charts. I don't think he improved on the time. Also, he has the track record at the moment at a 5:55.153, which is exceptionally faster than last session's Michael Aurelio, who was a 6:03.331. Oh, we have a wreck! Dion Scott, Karen Minazuki. So that heavy damage to car number 09. That's not going to be good for her. And oh, another mechanical issue on track. It's Robert Piet, car number 95. That car is limping through the Indianapolis section. And with that, it looks like the timer is running short. And that's going to be the end of this segment. So Robert Piet, a disappointment. He was so close, 10th on the board at one point. He's now dropped all the way down to 26th place. So disappointing effort for the Piet Motorsports team. And actually, none of the drivers made the top 15. Julian Kendall-Bliss Jr., Matt Dool, Karen Minazuki, Joshua Michaels, Dion Scott, Connor Atwood, Makoto Iguchi, Nick Pericles, Dominic Cousins, and Nikki Allen will be the 10 drivers that will transfer over to the main event. As we take a look at the 5 that go to the LCQ, Thomas Beattie, Brendan Patterson, Jordan Culp, Leah Walker, and Courtney Miller. With that said, let's take a look at our third and final qualifier effort, then the LCQ. Let's see who's in it. Hidoki Tanaka, Gabriel Montoya, Nathan Minazuki, Jerry Guerra, Charles Sanford, Pichu London, Greg Miller, James Silverfox, Henry Sanford, Luke Walker, Max Watson, Jack Richards, Charles Jackson, Jonathan Bentons, Sam Young, Joey Beattie, Kyle Corbett, Alex Tanker, Dylan Young, Chris Washer, Neil Evans, Trek Togger, Derek Pemberton, Jacques Robinson, Connor Germain, Amanda Pericles, Stephen Carter, Jeffrey Finguy, Hunter Fellows, and Ryan Astabomi. The first car on track is Amanda Pericles, car number 87 for the Oriole Racing team. Now, Oriole Racing has one car in and one car out. Nick Pericles was able to make it in last qualifier effort, and Skylar Dixon, sadly, not able to recapture that success that he had in Bristol. So Amanda Pericles is the last one of the Oriole Racing cars to try and make the field. She's got a good car and definitely a good driver, so definitely a possibility there. She continues her way down the track. She is the first car on the circuit. We take a look back at car number 44, Alex Tanker. Now, the Canadian driver has had some success in the Utica Home Track Series, but mostly on the super speedways. This is kind of foreign territory for him. But car number 44 is the last effort for Tanker Motorsports to make the race, as both Brock McMahon and Alan Tanker not only failed to make the race, they failed to even make the LCQ. Now, Tanker Motorsports sometimes ping-pongs between being a back-of-the-pack team and being a team near the front, so they can get those setups that propel them toward the front of the pack. They might have a chance this year. We take a look now at car number 55, Neil Evans, a new paint scheme on that machine, the K&N car. Now, like the 13 of Matt Evans, both of them running special schemes for the road courses, and this is the one for the Bethesda ring. Neil Evans, definitely a road race ace. He has a win in the Utica Home Track Series at the Mo Sports circuit, which has several turns inspired here. Now, Neil Evans looking for a good showing. And I wouldn't be surprised. He is one of our best drivers, and given his season last year, which, though mid-pack, had some really strong highlights. Sponsorship for the 35 of Jonathan Bentons. Benton's run at the Bristol event definitely impressed Joseph Inesto, as Joseph Inesto decided to back the 35 machine with top-notch designs. So this car looking similar to the Joseph Inesto machine of last race. Now, it's uncertain how long this sponsorship opportunity is going to last, but Bentons is happy that some extra money is coming into the 35 machine. Now he's got to try and back it up and see if he can make the show as he continues along this long stretch, trying to catch up to someone, maybe get a drafting partner out there. He's the only DHL radio car in this heat. Jacques Robinson, car number 40, really shocked some people last week with his great effort at the Bristol event, replacing Andrew Robinson. Now, he is not a short track driver, but still managed to get a great finish of, I believe, 6th place, and got Andrew Robinson locked in for this event. So he has to try and qualify himself into the race, driving car number 70. Currently looking pretty well at the moment, and definitely a driver that knows his stuff on these tracks, as Charles Sanford trying to follow him into the Nürburgring turn. James Silverfox, car number 19, is losing a lot of spots very quickly. I'm not sure what's up with that machine. It's been a pretty bad couple of weeks for Silverfox, as disappointment at Bristol, wasn't even close to making it, and now it looks like more trouble for the number 19. That car is heavily off the pace. And it looks like Henry Sanford is going to get held up by it, the brother of teammate Charles Sanford. You see more cars trying to make it past Dylan Young, Max Watson. So Silver Fox trying to limp that car around the track. His run might be done already. Luke Walker, car number 23 in the Prudential machine. Now, Leah Walker, his sister, has already gone up on track, was 14th fastest in qualifier number 2, and has made the LCQ. Luke Walker trying to join her now. Pichu London is also in this heat, but it seems that the 47 is the strongest car out of the stable, as she has done better overall in the past events. Chris Washer, car number 51, trying desperately to make the event. Now, Washer Utica Racing made the attempt at Bristol. They were so confident they were going to make it. They were saying it all weekend long, like, we have a car to win the race. And they both got shut out of the event, and now they come back this week with the same confidence, and Ian Dutta gets knocked out. He was only 19th fastest in the session. So, Chris Washer, the last opportunity to redeem the Washer-Duda team as he works his way through the Indianapolis turns. There's Henry Sanford, car number 20. Now, some news out of the Sanford camp for S3 Motorsports. They have another driver that's going to be running a couple races. Gene Sanford is going to be driving the 58 machine for the Super Speedway. So, limited time entry, but might help the team out as Henry Sanford tries to make his first career Utica Home Track Series race on track. Amanda Pericles, car number 87, is just about done with the full lap. Now, it seems that the first car out on track has had some trouble here today. They haven't been able to pick up that pace, so either she might need to drop back, or she's got to really pick it up, or hope that the rest of the drivers get delayed. Here we are with our stagnant camera on the front straightaway, as we take a look at Amanda Pericles crossing the line, and just look at that gap between the two. Now, I also want to take this pause to mention that these times have really been picking up since the first heat. The first heat was done under sunshine. There was no clouds in the sky, but it's been getting progressively cloudier here in Virginia. Sorry, Maryland. But that could be attributing to these cars running faster. And there's a car on pit road. I believe that's Gabriel Montoya, car number 4. So he's going to have to try and make it on the second attempt. But his chances of making the race are looking pretty slim. Car number 05, Nathan Minazuki, is the first place car on track. Now, Nathan Minazuki, a relative newcomer to the racing scene. His teammate, Karen Minazuki, has made the show, and he's trying to do so as well. And what a great effort by car number 05, being the fastest on track. Wait a second, he's been beat. Was beat by car number 55 of Neil Evans. And I had to wonder about this pack, because these three have been running in close proximity. They've been really pushing each other down the racetrack, and all three of them have very fast times, Sam Young, I believe, being the slowest. So, great effort by these guys. I think the way to go for these qualifiers is to have some drafting partners, as Neil Evans, Trek Tugger, and Sam Young really helping each other out on track as they head through the S-Bend. Kyle Corbett, car number 42, is currently the 10th fastest on track, so he's just barely into the show. Kyle Corbett, the Canadian driver, tried his best at Bristol, and he was really determined. He ran the most laps in the session, but just wasn't able to get that car dialed in. Maybe it could have helped them if they did pit and try and fix the issue. Wait a second, we have to mention car number 99. This would seem that he is actually the 10th fastest now. Ryan Estabomi, car number 99, running for the Row 1 Motorsports team. He had a good run in the Royal Rumble, stayed in for quite a few rounds. So trying to keep in contention for this race. The 99 car has not made a race yet, and I don't believe any of the... Yeah, none of the team was locked in. So, we got a car on pit road, James Silverfox. He's finally worked his way down pit road. And there's a lot of expletives over the radio he is not happy about today. we take a look at car number 28, Max Watson. He currently sits in 6th place on track. Now, the German driver, who is relatively unknown, is putting out a great showing today. I mean, some people expect him to be good in these road courses, but no one really knows much about Max Watson. He just kind of showed up to the track with this number 28 car, and has been flying on track ever since. He missed the Bristol event, but with a run like this, he has a good chance of making the race today. Hunter Fellows, car number 94 in the Starbucks machine, continuing around the S-bend. He currently sits in the 3rd position. So Hunter Fellows having a great effort today for the Dion Scott team. Now, Dion Scott already made the show. He qualified 5th in his session. Eric Bush did not make the show. He was in 20th. Hidoki Tanaka, car number 03, running in 11th place, just outside of the show, but not a bad effort for the Japanese driver. Hidoki was excited coming into this weekend. Hidoki was hoping that this could be the chance to make the race for Bain Motorsports, as Brandon Bain has already made this race and the race before due to the owner points. Still trying to redeem themselves after the Royal Rumble when they had that mechanical issue, but on track right now and placing relatively well. Stephen Carter, number 91, sits in 9th place on track. Stephen Carter, the Rallycross phenom, the skills have transferred over into the Utica Home Track Series, and an exceptional effort by the Pontiac for the Allen Racing family, trying to join Nicky Allen in the race. We take a look at Jeffrey Finguy, car number 92. He currently sits in 8th position. Now, Finguy, definitely a character on track. He always looks forward to these road courses, and he always celebrates when he heads to the track. Very active on Twitter, and definitely talks about the race a lot. He is excited about today's event, and he wants to make the show. He does not want to miss a race, and he's been pretty noted for his consistency. He even took the 68 of Brian Brote for the Batista Bowl just so we could make the race. Car number 87, Amanda Pericles, coming back toward the line. See if this lap can track faster. Pericles working her way down that front straightaway. We'll switch over to our stagnant pit lane cam right at the end, as Amanda Pericles is going to work her way across the line. And there is a huge gap between her and the rest of the pack. I'm not sure if that could mean that she's picked up a little bit, as we take a look at the 44 of Alex Tanker, who was the second car on track. Chris Washer following close behind, so that drafting help could be a benefit. There is Nathan Minazuki, who had a great effort that first lap. I'm not sure if he picked it up this time. More drivers heading toward the line. There is Pichu London, Greg Miller, car number 18, and Hunter Fellows is working his way there. And now here's the pack we want to watch. These 3 cars that have been bump drafting throughout the entire session. It's been Neil Evans, Sam Young, and Trek Togger, as they're all going to come across the line. Currently listed, Trek Togger, car number 60, is the fastest car on the racetrack, so the draft line has helped, and this is actually faster than the fastest time of Qualifier 2. So, Trek Togger, an amazing effort today. And Sam Young and Neil Evans are definitely going to benefit on this as well. They're all running in the top 5 on track. Now, Trek Togger, a road race ace, he's still trying to chase that first victory, despite being one of the few drivers that's been in the series since Season 1. We have a, looks like we have a, same driver for 10th, actually. Stephen Carter, car number 91. I was getting, reading that he maybe moved up, but, looks like he has still 10th, but, at least he's consistent and he's close to making the race. However, he's got to worry about the rest of these drivers, crossing the line, as not everyone has finished the race just yet. Now, wait a second. We have a change for the lead. It's Max Watson Max Watson, car number 28, is actually going to get the fastest time of the day, and it's going to absolutely crush the previous 2 qualifier sessions. So, my God, Max Watson, a complete surprise at the top of the board in the single car number 28 machine. I can see why Pepsi decided to back him. Definitely a talent behind this number 28 machine as we take a look at some other drivers on track. Car number 70 of Jacques Robinson is currently 8th on the circuit. The road race skills are definitely helping him out as he continues the way around the racetrack. Robinson trying to make an impression today since he will not be back next week at North Carolina. E.G. Robinson will be in the car. In fact, he won't be back until we head to Canada, as this is the last road course for a while. Amanda Pericles, car number 87, currently running 5th, so she has broken the curse of the first driver on track, as this car has been pretty strong all day, and it looks pretty confident that she might be able to join Nick Pericles in the show. So the Oriole Racing team definitely found a track they run well at, as she works her way toward the latter half of the race course. We take a look at car number 78 of Connor Germain. He currently sits 15th on the board. He is the transfer spot for the LCQ. Now Germain was hoping for a little better effort since this is a road course and he specializes in. But with the stiff competition out there today, I think you can understand why 15th isn't that bad. It's about mid-pack at the moment, as he tries to capitalize by drafting with Charles Sanford, maybe even getting a little excess help from Ryan Estabomi. Derek Pemberton, car number 65, is on pit road. He's yet to put a lap down today. Same with Joey Beatty in the 41, despite both of them being in the session. I think both of them are having some issue with the car, as they've been not doing well all day. Car number 94 is going to head through the turn, and oh, he's going to be in the wall. And that's going to end the run early for car number 94. So Hunter Fellows, good thing he had a strong time. That's going to be a little harder to beat. He was running toward the top of the standings in 3rd. Chris Washer, car number 51, 6th place on track, proving that the Washer Duda team is not all hype, as he is performing well on track as he heads through the Indianapolis turns. We're getting close to the end of the 3rd and what would be final lap of the segment. Jerry Guerra, car number 7, sitting in 14th at the moment, was upset at Bristol, where he didn't even make a factor. He wasn't even close to the top of the charts. He's trying to join his brother in the main event, as Nicholas Guerra has been pretty successful these past couple of weeks. Jerry Guerra trying his best out on track. We head back to the front stretch as Amanda Pericles is going to cross the line. For the last time in the qualifier event, we'll have the LCQ coming up next, and we'll see the 5 drivers that will transfer over to that. But Pericles is going to cross the line. I'm not seeing much improvement. There comes Chris Washer with help from Alex Tanker. In fact, Chris Washer was fast enough to pass Alex Tanker. They were running close. You see Hunter Fellows coming back on the racetrack with a backup car. I think it's a little too late for him, but I think he wants to get a little bit of extra practice time. Nathan Mizuki crossed the line. Joey Beatty is going to get back on track, but not going to have enough time to make a full lap. There's a car coming down pit road. I believe that's Pichu London. I think he's done for today. Greg Miller, car number 18, crossing the line. Not too bad. Pemberton coming back on track. Here comes the draft line. It looks like Trek Tugger is going to pull off. He's confident with his lap time, as Neil Evans and Sam Young cross the line, and they're going to place faster than him. Car number 37, Sam Young, is going to be the second fastest on track. They did not beat Max Watson, as he's still yet to cross the line. So Max Watson, I think he's pretty confident in his abilities on track. But Sam Young, great effort by the 37 machine. Now Sam Young has been great in these qualifier events, and has shown that he's won several qualifier races last year when we had the Qualifier Series Championship. And with a little help from his friends in Neil Evans and Trek Tugger, I think this is quite the alliance that they have here that spans several teams. Connor Germain, car number 78, is going to place 5th on the board. So quite the pickup from the 78. Drafting with Sanford has helped him. It looks like a little help from Jacques Robinson and Ryan Estabomi is going to propel him up through the pack. I wanted to mention something with car number 37, Sam Young. Despite him being in the race, Dylan Young has been placing pretty poorly in this qualifier event. As you can see, he's actually headed toward pit road, along with Max Watson, who's the fastest car on track. I think he's done for today. He's confident in his time. No one has beaten it yet, so he's guaranteed to start in the race. Luke Walker comes across the line. He's one of the last cars to do so. 18th. Not going to be good enough for Luke Walker. And it looks like, unless Leia Walker can make it in the LCQ, the entirety of their team is going to fail to qualify. One last driver on track, but looks like he's not going to make it to the line. Henry Sanford has had some issues in that number 20 machine. He actually brought it down pit road early on. He's been off from the cycle of the rest of the drivers, and it looks like he's not going to make it as he goes to the Indianapolis corner. Let's take a look at the drivers that are going to start in the main event. Max Watson, Sam Young, Neil Evans, Trek Togger, Connor Germain, Ryan Estabomi, Hunter Fellows, Kyle Corbett, Amanda Pericles, and Chris Washer. Definitely some talent, a lot of road race aces, and a couple of surprises up there, like Kyle Corbett. And then a couple drivers heading to the LCQ. They are Jerry Guerra, Jacques Robinson, Nathan Minazuki, Jeffrey Finguy, and Greg Miller. Let's take a look at who makes it in for the LCQ. 2 of these 15 drivers are going to transfer into the main event, so this is the last opportunity for these 15 select drivers. As you see, some familiar faces on there, some rookies, some surprises in this race. We weren't expecting to make the LCQ, but we'll discuss as we go along. Jordan Culp is going to be the first car out on track. Now, he has his teammate Greg Miller in car number 18, but I'm surprised that they're not going out together. As one, we've had a dreaded curse of the first car not having as good of a time as the rest of the pack, as only Amanda Pericles was able to break that curse. And even so, that was just a barely. She made 9th on course, but I think Culp and Miller are trying to test their cars in a single car effort. And I think they must be pretty confident, as Sean Angel, car number 14 out on track. Sean Angel is one of the favorites in this session, as he is a road race ace and is definitely good at these types of courses. Now, Sean Angel only has 2 starts to his name, the Monza event being one and Bristol being the other. He's hoping to keep up the streak today. Jacques Robinson, car number 70, another favorite for this session. Jacques Robinson impressed everyone last week, and he's hoping to do so again this week, as he's going to be taking quite a break from the racing world, as E.G. Robinson is going to be running in that car for a while. He won't be back until we head back on the Canadian tour for Mosport in Montreal. John Lasco, car number 76, just came out of a Utica Rallycross Series event in Seoul, South Korea. He's still trying to win some races there, and he's hoping that he can add a Utica Home Track Series race to his resume. This is the first time he's ever attempted a Utica Home Track Series race, and much like Stephen Carter, he's hoping that the skills will transfer over and he'll be able to qualify for the main event. Eric and Rage and Jeffrey Finguy are running in a close tandem draft on track, and there's eyes on them that they might be the drivers to make the show since they're running so near each other, and the draft has been notably helpful in these qualifying sessions. But Eric and Rage is definitely a surprise entry in this event, as no one expected the team owner that's just running a one-off race to make this at such a difficult racetrack. But with a little help from veteran driver and road race ace Jeffrey Finguy, the both of them look like they're trying to push their way into the show. Or, in the case of Finguy, I think Finguy just wants to get by as he runs to the outside of the 33 machine. We'll have to see what their times are at the end of the lap. Megan Curley, car number 46 for the Gas Tank Engineering Incorporated bunch. Now, Trek Togger has made the show, but the other two drivers of Lasco and Curly have yet to make it in. Now, it's possible, since two can transfer into the event, that both Gas Tech cars can be in the show, but they'd be happy they can at least get one. Megan Curley trying not to miss her first race, as any races she did not attempt, she's never not qualified for an event, as in like failed to qualify in the qualifier race. Brendan Patterson, car number 85, a little out of his element, as we've mentioned. But Patterson definitely trying his best. But he's not feeling confident over the radio. He says this car is not to its optimum, and that making the race might be a little difficult. So though his teammates are both in the race, they both qualify their way in, Brendan Patterson's going to have to try and really bump it up if he wants to make the show. Greg Miller, car number 18. Now, we mentioned that he and Culp are running separately despite being two teammate cars on track. Looks like the teammate cars are kind of going at it for their own vein. They don't want to really help each other too much, as they want to say, hey, I raced into the race without any help. I have a good car. And the Culp Miller boys definitely confident in their machines. Now, Greg Miller is actually one of two Millers in this event, but the two of them are not related. So, just to ease any confusion, as there's two Millers on the entry list for this LCQ. Megan Atkins, car number 12, the Royal Rumble shootout driver, working her way around the racetrack. Now, Bristol had the opportunity to be a really strong event for her, but unfortunately a wreck took her out of it early as she heads into the speedway section of the track, and we call that since the turns here seem to mimic tracks like Charlotte and Indianapolis. She's trying to rush her way to the line. It's Jeffrey Finguy still with Eric and Rage, and there are reports that their times are actually looking pretty good. Now, they're not tracking the highest at the moment, but if they can keep this going, this could be quite a friendship they have here. Now, at the moment, Finguy, I believe, is 1 and 2 for his drivers. I don't believe Eric Jacques has made the race. Actually, no, he's 2 and 2 with his drivers. My mistake. So, Jeffrey Finguy is the only JFI machine that has yet to qualify for the event. So this is his last chance to do so, so he'll definitely want to get some help from Eric and Rage. As we take a look at the pit road cam. Now, there's something a little different about this session. Because of the length of this course, we've actually lowered the time here. Especially because clouds are starting to run in, and we want to make sure we get this session over with. Now, instead of the 15-minute allotted time, they're only getting 10, so 2 laps and they're done for the LCQ. Which I believe this is the only track they're going to do that on, since this is a 14-mile track. Well, coming to the line, you see the cars right in a row. I don't believe I saw any cars head toward pit road unless I looked away briefly. But everyone seems to be running on track. You really can't go to pit road to make adjustments since you have so little time. You don't have that extra lap to rebound on. And right now, Sean Angel, the fastest car on track in the number 14, much to the expectancy of all of us in the stands. Sean Angel is definitely an impressive driver, and with a lot of races here, especially the road courses in Canada, which will be about race 7 or 8 on the schedule if I'm not mistaken, should be impressive to watch this 14 car go. Car number 76, John Lasco, is actually going to overthrow the 14 on top of the grid. Car number 76, driven by John Lasco, he's definitely done his homework. And the Utica Rallycross Series has helped him a bit with these tracks. Now, he's not on the Gas Tech team in Utica Rallycross. He's on C&M Rally team, but that team partners heavily with the Togger-owned Gas Tech Engineering Incorporated. So, Gas Tech Engineering Incorporated has that advantage that they have a large pool of development drivers since they have a lot of lower team partnerships. Thomas Beatty, car number 54, is in 5th place on track. Thomas Beatty was kind of the overshadowed member of his own race team last season. As though his 11 car did make some races and have some solid runs, that 12 car, driven by Joey Beatty and later Connor Germain, was the superstar vehicle of the team. At the current moment, Connor Germain is in the race right now in the 78. Joey Beatty has failed to qualify. Thomas Beatty is the last attempt. Courtney Miller in car number 17, along with the 12 of Megan Atkins, are the final two hopes for the Dollarton bunch. Now, Dollarton is going to start the race in his number 93 machine. He is locked in from the Bristol event where he finished 10th, just barely crawled his way in, despite having tons of mechanical issues and barely keeping that car on the racetrack. Fortunately, the high casualty rate of last event took out a lot of cars. But Courtney Miller sits 10th at the moment. It's not the strongest effort, and I'm not sure if Courtney Miller is tracking well enough to improve on it. But the season's still young, and Courtney Miller, a development driver, of course. Only her rookie season is only her second attempt in a Utica Home Track Series car. She has a lot of learning to do. Two cars on pit road, Jerry Guerra and Brendan Patterson. Both of them are complaining that they are having some serious issues with these machines. They're slow and they can barely handle. And this is a real shame for Jerry Guerra, who is going to drastically miss the show 2 weeks in a row, while brother Nicholas Guerra still sits in the top 10 in points. Leah Walker, car number 47, 8th place on track. Now, the other two drivers for this team have failed to qualify for the event. That's Luke Walker and Pichu London. So it's all up to Leah, who's actually the only one of the team to actually make the race. She made the Bristol event, but a wreck took her out early in that number 47 Pokemon machine. There goes car number 25. Jordan Colby sits in 6th place on track. Now, it's not in the show yet, but impressive effort by Jordan Culp, the driver who we don't normally see too much in the car, and especially not in these road courses. He's more of a speedway driver. But Culp, excellent effort today, and even if he doesn't make the race, at least he's been close and consistent. Nathan Minazuki, car number 05, 12th place on track. We're mentioning him since he's the last of the 15 cars in the session we've yet to talk about. Now, he was trying to chase car number 09 of Karen Minazuki, his sister, to try and make the show, but sadly it didn't work. He came close in his third qualifier. He had the fastest time on track at one point. But whatever adjustments they made to the car in between sessions, they don't seem to have worked, as he's a little further down on the grid. He still has a chance, but it's getting dimmer and dimmer as more cars head to the line. Speaking of chances fading away, Megan Atkins, car number 12, mechanical issue. And that car is going to go out of the race. It looks like her chances of making the Bethesda ring are done, as Courtney Miller makes the pass on her. And I think that might have actually slowed down Courtney Miller a little more too, so this could be a huge upset for the Dollarton team, as Chris Dollarton is going to be their only car in the event. Here we go. We crossed the line for one final time. We'll have to see who is the fastest on track and who will get those coveted 2 positions. I have Jordan Culp crossing the line. I don't see a significant improvement. Car number 70 might improve a little bit. Yeah, he does improve. I believe he's top of the board at the moment. So Jacques Robinson currently sits in 1st place. There comes Megan Curley, and she's going to get a good run as that car makes onto the tracker. Greg Miller, car number 18, no improvement. There's Sean Angel. No improvement. Megan Curley is actually the fastest car on the grid, which would mean Jacques Robinson is in 2nd place. So Megan Curley, not the most noted for road racing, but the very, very outlandish number 46 paint scheme that they always use for the road courses seems to be faring them well. New car on top of the board, that's John Lascaux. So Jacques Robinson's been eliminated from the field, and now John Lascaux to the top of the charts. Megan Curley in 2nd place, so now it's currently those two that have the transfer spots into the race, and their times are pretty fast. They're tracking close to the fastest time of qualifier 3. So Jacques Robinson, car number 70, despite that great effort, been so close, just barely missing the race in 3rd place overall. Wait a second, we have a new face at the top of the board. Eric Enrage, car number 33. And guess what? With a 5:53.420, that's the fastest time we've seen today. So this driver, who came out of complete left field, went from behind the desk of the Enrage Media Group offices to behind the wheel of this race car, has just pulled one of the hugest upsets I've ever seen and has made one of the longest tracks we've ever raced on in the Utica Home Track Series in his first attempt. So, excellent effort by car number 33. If we take a look at the two drivers that transfer into the field, Eric and Rage and John Lasco will be the two drivers that will make the show in the main event. Now, let's take a look at the drivers that failed to qualify for the main event. And there's quite a list here. Adam Kendrick, Cecil Brooks, Ryan DiPetro, Hidoki Tanaka, Gabriel Montoya, Nathan Minazuki, Skylar Dixon, Jerry Guerra, Emily Ishter, Charles Sanford, Tina Anderson III, Megan Atkins. Matt Evans, for the first time in his career, has failed to qualify for an event. First time he's ever missed a race. Sean Angel, Pichu London, Courtney Miller, Greg Miller, James Silverfox, Henry Sanford, Harrison Langford, Bartell, Walker, Caps, Culp, Dutta, Downing, Richards, Jackson, Bentons, Beatty, Tanker, Bush, Curley, Walker, Young, Seth Cole for the first time in his career, Thomas Beatty, Alex May, Tanker, McCrory, Onesto, all the Pembertons, Drew Austin, Michelle Sedino, Cole Daly, Jacques Robinson, Kyle Austin, Brock McMahon, Daniel Voiles, Brendan Patterson, Stephen Carter, Jeffrey Finguy for the first time, Robert Piet, Sona Kors, Debbie Myers, and Alex Allen, all going home. Well, that does it for this qualifier event. It was a lengthy day, but we will join you for the main event here at the Bethesda Ring. I'll see you then.